I think Aui's really delivered in this grand finals. First on the Skywrath, I think he did a really good job of shutting down Phoenix and delaying his 6, because that's really what they needed, because they weren't getting any Blink Daggers on the supports. And on top of that, his Enigma in game 1 was pretty good, I would say.
He did a good job on his hero.
Yeah.
I think the one here that EG picked that Vici Gaming may eye off themselves this game is the Earthshaker as well, because of how much it can guarantee your offlaner goes well with that one fissure block. And then also it's a good hero to kind of roam, and if Sumail plays something like a Tinker or a Storm or a Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, a good hero to actually gank him with and get that block on the high ground pathway.
Yeah. K-pop confirms that it's 98 heroes picked out of 106 available. So again, yeah, lots of heroes, only 8 heroes not picked. Vici Gaming is going to take the Shadow Fiend. Didn't work for Black very well on game 1, but it very well could work, and it could be also... has Super played Shadow Fiend at all? I want to say yeah.
He's had a couple games.
Yeah, but they do ban the Bad Rider.
It's good to pick Shadow Fiend here. They're Radiant and EG. Once they remove the Sniper, the Shadow Fiend becomes irresistible. Like, very good now in the Radiant side, and Sniper out of the pool. The other hero that can set up potential early ganks like the Sniper can is Invoker against Shadow Fiend.
Should you be concerned about, not maybe of course a first round pick, but a Queen of Pain eventually?
Yeah,
we saw that.
Possibly, but Queen of Pain is not so reliable in certain scenarios that we watch in the previous games. And sometimes she can work, sometimes it's like so difficult she gets killed and she just falls off the whole game.
Super is 4-1 on Shadow Fiend this tournament, by the way, so...
Shadow Friend.
The Shadow Friend. Black is hence 2-1. He was 2-0 before this game. Now he's 2-1 because he lost game 1. But PPD gonna secure the Earthshaker as well. And you were talking about how key this hero was. Well, we'll get to see him again. You know, when Earthshaker changed the fissure that the creeps would block instead of trying to go around the fissure, I was very surprised because I thought, well, this is a buff, because before you could just make sure, like, you had to have a good fissure, the creeps could turn around, you would delay them for like 3-4 seconds, but now it's the full fissure duration. So the creeps will be stayed blocked for 8 seconds. That means you delayed your safe lane or your off lane by 8 seconds. That's a lot. That means pretty much that the creep wave is going to encounter yours near the tower.
You can't Ancient Pull though. You can't Ancient Pull or redirect to the...
Yes, that is true. But for the offlaner, it feels pretty strong.
For offlaner, it's still really strong, especially since they made offlane like it venture out that far on Radiant.
Dire Boys once more. Enigma with the Earthshaker, a lot of team fight.
Zero laning presence, so that's the one thing where these two supports can be kind of punished.
They got away with it in the first game, so that's why I feel Vici Gaming have to avoid the same thing happening again. They had Rubik Lash the first game, but it didn't end up helping the lanes too much. But let's see this game, what do they go for to actually punish this Enigma and Earthshaker? The supports, they don't really have much laning presence early on.
The beauty of this draft is that it's not telling that much from EG. We saw both these heroes being played before, so it's nothing new, but they have the 3 cores still to pick, so they could go in any direction they want, and they could, yeah.
Maybe they go for Rubik again, because Rubik are usually very useful against these two heroes, and at the same time doesn't reveal too much about what you're going to go into in the next few heroes.
The other hero I feel like they may kind of lean towards, not so much as a second pick, or third, fourth pick, is maybe the Ice Ice Brood. You know there's no good laning support. You haven't seen what Fierce hero is going to be as a safe lane farmer.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, because in the first game, they went for Shadow Fiend Tidehunter opening, so which doesn't allow the option of the Brood coming in later.
Yeah.
It's something I feel EG would need to ban out if Vici Gaming pick a support.
Yeah, very good against this sort of supports where they don't have laning presence.
Well, it's going to be the Clockwork.
I like Clockwork a lot here. I was like theory crafting heroes for Ice. I think Clockwork and Timber are his like highest impact offlaners that are just really difficult to deal with, especially Earthshaker. Like they couldn't control Earthshaker all game last time, and he didn't have a blink for a really long time.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, it didn't matter. Now that they have a Clockwork, they can actually just shut him down and kill him really quickly, which is really important. Their initiation last game was simply terrible.
Vici Gaming has played 2 times the Clockwork in this tournament. They're 2-0. Granted, Vici Gaming has won most of their games, but Yeah, Ice has played it 2 times.
This game would mostly mean Super will be playing the Shadow Fiend because Ice is on a less farming orientated heroes. Then they will have a semi core and a heavy core for
10
black.
seconds to pick.
So I think this is more likely a Super Shadow Fiend, and they're going to go for a safe lane hero for black.
Ben mentioned, I think, at the end of the last game that Black should be playing more of these kind of aggressive fighting heroes, and do you kind of
Look,
agree that
I
you don't want
mean
him on
to
like
rush you, but
too
I
heavy
do
of a
wish you'd go
farmer?
hell of a lot faster than
What are
you're
their
getting.
options here?
Can he go Slark?
Jug or Slack with a kind of...
Yeah, Juggernaut or Slug, and
Yeah, Bristol is still an option, I suppose, but
Invoker.
Black's
you've
Invoker
never
was something
seen
fun.
him pick like,
Dial's back.
I don't know, I feel Invoker, it could actually be situationally good with the clockwork.
I wonder if the Templar Assassin ban from Vici Gaming is not indicating that they might want to pick Ember Spirit again.
No, it's just against Shadow,
Shadow
Fiend.
Fiend.
It means the Shadow Fiend is going mid, more or less.
I like the
Only
Sand King
10
ban.
seconds.
Vici very often picks Sand King versus an Enigma to match the greedy
5
jungler, since
seconds
they seem to be bad at punishing it. So instead of punishing it by killing them, they punish it with the greed of their own.
Reserve time.
They tried punishing the Chen, but it didn't work with the
No.
Bounty Hunter.
EG doesn't mean particularly phased about the Rubik pick. They're like, let FY pick the Rubik.
They
The Lion
lost
is
Rubik.
fine.
Rubik is
Yeah,
0-2
0-2
this
against
series.
them. But at the same time, it is FY and it's the Rubik. It's his trademark hero. Can win him a game all on its own.
Isn't EG setting up for, I don't know, maybe like a storm pick on Sumail? They're banning out the instant stunner on Sand King, banning out the hard disabler on the Lion,
Yeah,
and I think it's already setting up for a really good storm.
very good possibility. And if Vici doesn't go for
Only
any
10
supports that have
seconds.
heavy lockdown or any sort of way to deal with the mobile hero like a Storm, so they're actually gonna take away the Juggernaut. They have again a double melee lane. Vici has to do something about this. They can't let EG get away with the greedy jungle hero, double melee lane, and just don't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the Clockwork will be able to.
Yeah, Clockwork
Find a
is-
lot of
at
farm.
least he can farm pretty decently in the lanes.
Yep.
Skyrath would be a very good aggressive support that can
seconds
actually
to
make plays around the map and roam around to at least try and set up a
5
kill or two
seconds.
for his team.
Hurry.
So that could be a possible good option here for Vici Gaming.
And if they don't
Reserve
punish the
time.
Earthshaker juggling, the other thing they can do is something like Cloud9s, where you have someone like a
Black
Bane
team
just
are now
making sure
picking.
Sumail gets no farm mid, and the Shadow Fiend is kind of guaranteed like a really
Mhm.
easy lane.
Mm-hmm.
They go for team fight support, which Doctor works very well with the Clockwork, good in the lane, Melodic as well.
Which Doctor has been throughout the tournament one of Vici Gaming's favorite heroes, and
Favorite carry heroes.
yeah. But it's one of those heroes that hasn't been working so well for
10
them.
seconds
They're only
to
3-2, and compared to the other heroes, that I mean, if you look at most of the heroes, they're 5-0, 6-1, 4-2, 5-1. Which Doctor is, out of all the heroes that they like to pick a lot, one of their weakest.
Well, it's hard to gauge sometimes that way because maybe it's like the pairing of the support partner sometimes that results in which Doctor doesn't work with certain hero or they had a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Can't let the stats deter you from picking a hero that might actually be good.
Yeah.
It's a team fight support, like could be good against if you can actually pull off a full duration death ward as always.
Yeah.
So EG, they have their core hero, they have their greedy support, they have their position 6 support, Earthshaker,
Now they probably want the offlaner here.
universe hero,
Yeah.
and they always leave the last hero for Sumail.
Unless they
It's-
really want the
10
storm, like if they decide this is the storm game,
Mhm.
where there's not enough heroes to deal
Yeah,
with him,
which Doctor is fairly weak against Storm.
yeah. So
So-
they'll,
Okay.
Radiant team are now
they'll
picking.
get the storm. You're right in that they almost always last pick Sumails here, but I think it's like they're going to ban storm, and what would we then be left with? The Brewmaster perhaps, which
Yeah, this is a very good Storm game already based on the first 3 heroes, and they probably want to get the Beastmaster to complement the Storm once again,
Yeah.
as they usually do.
Does Vici Gaming want to go for the Rubik once again? Oh, they're gonna go to the Terrorblade.
Yeah, the
Dial's
heavy
back.
core.
I was wondering why they banned out the Tinker as opposed to the Storm, and it makes more sense now because since they already have a Clockwork, which I feel is already pretty good at shutting down a Tinker. Shadow Fiend can like do decently versus him in one-on-one.
Terrorblade plus Shadow Fiend together on
10
Vici Gaming. I
seconds
think
to
that should be a combination that has a very good win rate. I remember watching a few games that they played that. It was very devastating. Early pushing power from the mech with Shadow Fiend, Terrorblade
5 seconds
with all the
remaining.
minus armor Shadow Fiend provides is just very, very powerful in a 5v5 match. And now it makes sense that why they even go for the Witch Doctor, because they already set up themselves into a very strong 5-man orientated lineup.
Checking right
And it
now.
was a good call with the heavy carry with Ice not playing a terribly farm dependent hero.
Yeah, they usually want to have more farmer when they pick Clockwork
Only
on the other
10
two heroes.
seconds.
These two heroes have played together 3 times in 683 and they're
5
2 on
seconds.
1.
Hurry,
I mean,
hurry.
Terrorblade has just been long forgotten.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
Only
just been
31
untouched.
picks in 683. So one of those heroes that since the nerf, people are not caring about much anymore.
Wow, they
Entire team
still
allowed
ban
picking.
out the Brood Mother?
What do you mean?
Okay.
I mean, Brood in theory could give Terrorblade a lot of issues in that
Yeah,
safe lane.
Their heroes would be a bit... Well, I guess it could still work, but feels like a bit very greedy.
Well, I think EG can afford going for grid right now, since Vici Gaming has shown that they don't have
Yeah, true.
the strongest of lanes. They're gonna get the Zeus.
Offlane Zeus versus Terrorblade.
Team pick.
How do you like this matchup?
It's good versus the hero. I'm not, like the laning phase.
The laning phase is mid, but yeah, it's very good at singling out the right Terrorblade and then you just jump on him with Storm, especially if he gets BKB later.
Yeah.
They don't have a Dazzle, so they don't really have a good way to protect the Terrorblade. I feel like, I mean, they can go a couple of ways now. They can go like a Silencer to, you know, have some sort of disable versus Storm, some sort of cover versus Enigma, some sort of cover for Terrorblade, or they can all out commit to the push at this point.
5 seconds
Omni Knight?
remaining.
More early game. Yeah, Omni Knight I think would actually be pretty decent too.
Well, with EG's lanes, I think you can afford an Omni Knight very
Yeah,
easily.
they're not going to punish that, but
They need something to pair with the Terrorblade
All-out
though.
push.
Okay, there's a push.
Death Ward, Serpent Ward,
Take all the wards. Actually, they used that yesterday, I think.
Death Ward, Serpent Ward, Healing Ward.
Yeah.
Together.
Too many wards.
And Tombstone. Wouldn't-
It's a risky strategy, though, I would say. It's very risky.
Yeah.
But it does have lockdown for Storm, so I actually really like the Shadow Shaman pick. It works well on multiple fronts.
And we'll see what happens with that. Vici Gaming, certainly, they are taking the last chance here.
And EG, this good base defense and deep push with Earthshaker, Midnight Pulse, the Zeus outlining, they certainly have the tools to actually hold a good defense against the pushing lineup of VG.
Gods, coming super late game. Let's say Vici Gaming is trying to push and EG manages to hold for quite a while. Who do you think has the strongest lineup past 45 minutes?
I think it's going to come down to
5
execution. I
seconds.
think the last
Hurry,
big Shadow
hurry.
Shaman actually gives them a way of dealing with the Storm Spirit in the late game to some extent. But Storm Spirit late game, Enigma with Refresher Black Hole late game, I think maybe give Vici Gaming a slight edge depending, because Ice, if his hookshots can find the Enigma during that Black Hole, that's going to be kind of the answer to the BKB Black Holes.
Ben, do you agree?
I like EG's lineup going late. I think a Storm BKB will just cause them way too many problems, on top of Juggernaut having magic immunity and Enigma having magic immunity at some point.
They have to finish the game.
Yeah, they have to end the game. I don't think this goes well past 50. It has to end, I would say, like ideally around 30 to like 38-ish.
Well, we're going to the casters right now, but last word for Winter. Is EG gonna take the 3-0? Yes, no?
No.
Okay, fair enough. That being said, we go to our casters. It's LD and Syndrome with Game 3 of the Dota 2 Asia Championship Finals. EG leads 2-0 versus Vici Gaming. Game 3 is underway.
All right, folks, welcome in. As Bruno stated very correctly, Vici Gaming, they're up against it now. I'm LD, joined here by Cinderin and Sind. I think if Vici Gaming win this game, they are going to reverse all kill EG. To me, I think that right now, their biggest issue is just momentum and maybe a little bit of confidence, but they got to get through this game 3 first. They won't be thinking that long term, and a Terrorblade picked up. This is not something we really expected. I don't think it was on EG's radar at all either.
No, it's like when it's your last chance to stay in the game, you pick Terrorblade for black, right? That's
Yeah.
just it's fitting. And then if they lose with that, I guess in a way they can say they tried even their backup plan in a sense, which I would consider this for Vici Gaming. It looks like they're fairly intimidated when they draft like this.
I feel like you also look at that game one and perhaps Vici not really happy with what they got out of the Black Shadow Fiend. So
Yeah.
that may be part of the reason we see Super handling it now.
And if the goal is to just have Black split pushing really hard and play a little bit more on his own, this is the hero for him.
Oh man, Witch Doctor Shaman, normally not your really heavy level 1 roaming supports, but they're already moving on to Sumail mid. He's gonna get caught out. Looks like Vici Gaming are up to it again. They'll start off with the Shackles, now followed up with the double raise, and they've got the third if needed. It's not. This is when Vici Gaming are at their best. Early roaming, it's not a classic roaming duo, and because of that, PPD, he was fissure blocking bottom, I believe, to help out his offlane Zeus, and Vici Gaming identify that opportunity, able to get on the board first here.
Yeah, and he ran the long way around. PPD was somewhat expecting the gank actually, but they came in at the perfect time when he was just out of range to help Sumail early on, and yeah, Super getting the first blood is definitely or not getting the first blood, but mid lane
helping
being
to
first
secure it,
blooded
yeah.
is definitely what they're looking for. I still don't think this is enough for Sumail to be dominated in lane. This is a matchup for me that Shadow Fiend wins on paper just one-on-one, but not by an extreme amount. So
and everything changes when Storm hits 6. If he gets 6 and he's got a decent amount of farm and has done okay in lane, can get a kill.
Oh, they're gonna lose the. Oh my God! Good awareness from Sumail. It's possibly gonna
He
cost
might-
him his life though, man. He's
That's
playing this
why
perfectly.
Has the boots, but just a bit too slow to get in range.
No,
Oh,
not
Kenny.
so sure.
Still chasing, but Earthshaker coming into position. Now they're going to have a fissure. Is it in time? 1 raise, 2 raise. They get the kill again. PPD.
He's like 2 seconds late both times
Oh,
in a row.
poor guy. And the thing is, they picked this Earthshaker specifically so this type of thing does not happen. You do not look at a Shadow Shaman support pick and think, oh god, we got to protect our mid against these constant rotations. But Vici Gaming, they're known for their early roaming when they win, and they're pulling it off here. Now they may set up on Universe, although for now he's playing pretty far back in this bottom lane.
If he comes forward now,
Oh,
Fenrir's
the
gonna go
wraparound's
in.
coming. Looking for the backstab. Can they get off that slow? I don't think they get in range for this. He'll be able to retreat. Now they're going to mid again. Looks like the Shaman is third time the char as well. Well, first, second war. Sumail trying to run in, dodge that last raise. It's not going to happen. FY and Fenrir just wrecking Sumail mid. He needs help, Send.
Yeah, and the problem for EG is that Ice has a really good matchup in the Clockwork versus Juggernaut. He's actually winning the lane. So PPD feels like he has to go top to help, and Sumail is just left on his own. He is gonna get crushed now. He is level 3.5 against almost a level 5 Shadow Fiend in mid. He has 600 gold to go for his bottle.
Just for his bottle. He has no boots either, which is an issue against this boots first Shadow Shaman.
He has effectively almost lost gold since the game started.
He can't even TP back to mid. That's how much he's died. He has to walk out, despite having the teleport scroll.
This is
And on top of that, the Terrablade's free farming bottom. He's 17-4.
This is a solid recipe if you can get away with it. In hindsight, PPD should have played closer to mid until they see the lanes shaping up and get some sort of intel. But Vici Gaming do get a really good opener. And now that...
Well, they're going on Universe. They're going to slow him down here with Reflection. And now out comes the Metamorphosis. They're going to go with the cast here. I think 2, 3 more auto attacks should do it. There's your second. The third coming out. And Universe will fall as well. All 3 lanes in disarray. The Clockwork not getting kills, but getting tons of experience off lane.
And Fear doesn't have mana for spin. That means he has to be careful against Ice, who could technically cog him in. Seeing Ice with the aggressive build too. He's maxing Battery Assault. We've seen quite a few Rocket Flare builds from himself and ROTK this tournament. Just look at Fear. He can't farm. This is a...
And let alone actually threaten for kills. Like, look at Eternal Envy when he's been playing the Jug safe lane. Almost every game he gets a kill around the 5-6 minute mark with Omni Slash, but... with no mana, not only is he not getting kills, but he has to be careful not to die. I want to point out FY has been just all over the place. Not just ganking, he was looking to secure that 4-minute rune for his team. He also was stacking the big camp for the Shadow Fiend. I don't know if he actually managed to secure the stack, but FY has been all over the places. There's going to be a little pressure towards the Snake, but rotating in, though, is your Earthshaker.
Mid lane
Sumail
again.
Caught out.
He got a kill.
Going down.
And he got the kill before he died.
It's on a support Witch Doctor. It's something, but it's not great.
Oh, it's better than the last 3 times.
Yeah, by that measure, it's an improvement.
Yeah. I would actually say that's a very important kill because it gets him close to level 6. If he doesn't get the kill, then
he's going to find Fear here, walking into the shot. Battery Assault's there, Trap is sprung. He has the stick charges, but even with them, he's about 15 mana short for a Blade Fury. Fear may go down as well. Can he stay alive with this healing ward? Retreating Slowly, Fissure will be there. Well, he lives in, but barely. And meanwhile, in the woods, there's going to be a rotation onto AOI 2000. Eidolon scouting this one out. They also got down a nice aggressive ward for Fenrir. Not sure if EG saw that one planted. Actually, two. Really looking to keep the pressure up. They're looking to pincer this Enigma. AUI. Uh-oh. This could be trouble. Cask, is it going to bounce back to him is the question. He's caught by the Shackles. Maledict there. Rocket to follow it up. And with the, in fact, the Shadow Feed, the one to claim it. Vici Gaming not at all phased by that 2-0 deficit. Just come out roaring in game number 3.
And we were talking about during the draft that we thought Void Skywrath would have been a nice combination for them to set up with the Clockwork for the mid game, to have some sort of more lockdown for the Storm with the Skywrath Silence, to just overall have a really solid team fight. But man, this Shadow Shaman pick has really worked out for them. It's always risky when you play this early game rotation with a Shadow Shaman, because if the ganks don't work, his recovery curve, it takes him very long to get back. But the Vici Gaming, even though they lost 2 games, they don't look like a team that's lost. Like all sorts of confidence in the
They choke it right off, man. I mean, going for those smoke eggs, imagine if those don't work. You're running a Shadow Shaman Witch Doctor. These heroes need their levels.
Some sort of bug with this. This is pretty funny, actually.
This is it's actually kind of reminiscent of that one game that Arteezy had. Oh, wow.
There we go. Okay.
It's the most for any player of this event. I don't fully blame Sumail for it, especially not that first death or two. Maybe the third you can say he's getting a little overconfident, but he did not have a good ward to protect him early against the ganks, and PPD was just a bit late every time. It's just one of those things where Vici were just one step ahead of them.
Actually losing his tower minute 7.
Oh my. And they don't even get the deny. Super a bit too quick. Now your hook shot in from Ice. Universe looking to turn it. He will end up falling. It's a 1-for-1 thus far. FY going to cancel the Shackles. Super has a double damage rune, though they have to be careful. Sumail running low on mana. Raze is coming out again. They can't keep on losing this Storm Spirit. He'll die to the Maledict. Will it be enough to turn with the Black Hole from UI 2000? It is. They get 2 in the end, making it 4 in total. PPD coming up big with AUI, but Black wasn't there. He arrives quite late to the fight, actually.
What a huge buyback from Universe. He is just level 6, buys back, and as a result gets the ultimate off there, securing 2 kills that they wouldn't have got else.
Man, that was a pretty massive swing of momentum in favor of EG. Can't really be overstated. And that was without an Omni Slash, that fight. Storm really not having many items. Does end up dying again, though. Sumail's still going to have a really
He's got to find another kill, potentially on FY. He does not have the pole.
Oh,
doesn't matter.
FY just going to get blown up. Finally, EG able to get Sumail on the board. He even gets the kill.
He's now 4 and 5. He just found 4 kills in the last 2 minutes. That is pretty huge.
Yeah, especially when you look at his CS, only 30 at minute 8.
He's now second on net worth.
He goes from being like bottom 3 or 4 all the way up. How the tides have turned. Ice is hunting, though. He's looking for PPD. Is he going to find an opening here? Fishing around for that hook shot. It's going to miss. PPD able to juke it, but still, they're going to run him down. Rotation could come from the Storm. Coming in as well as Universe. He'll bolt that illusion off the bat. Now they're going to slow him with Reflection. Do they actually engage onto this? The Storm zipping into the Cox, fighting Ice. Universe going to bolt him. Can Sumail finish the job? He drops that Remnant. Not enough for the kill. He'll jump in again. The raises from Super. Trying to predict where the zip would land and double raise him quickly, but Sumail able to dodge it. Coming right back in this game 3. As quickly as they fall behind, 8-7 your score. This started, was it 6-1 or 6-2?
6
it was
to 1.
brutal.
They were really far ahead, and now they're going extremely aggressive. Black and... who was that? It was Black and Ice chasing in really far into EG territory with all the other heroes missing, and they get a good counterplay. At the same time, Fear not being challenged at all, and as a result, looking good at the top lane. Now Black's going to get jumped with Omnislash and the Ball Lightning from Sumail. A lot of players would crumble under this kind of early pressure.
Guy
He's
died
totally back.
4 times in the lane, and he's 6 and 5 at minute 9. Unbelievable. I mean, not just any player either. A 15-year-old wonder kid who's never played at a truly major land before this. This is some poise under pressure.
Maybe he's just like, this is what I usually do in my pub games. If someone camps me mid and they really want to gank me this hard, I've been in this situation a lot of times before. Yeah,
he's showing some
very
resilience
impressive.
here. And, well, on the back of that, EG start to make moves elsewhere. They're going to bring 3 heroes bottom. Super, FY may get caught out here. Will there be a jump in? That Storm off the map right now. He is smoked. He'll go for the zip. On to FY. Gets Hex quickly. Fissure coming as well. Will hit on 2. FY going to drop here. Zipping further. Looking for a bit more. Does he have the mana to go for additional kills? Doesn't look like it. But again, just keeps on finding his way back in this game. Meanwhile, top lane, the rotation from Ice. Fear has no Omni Slash, but Ice not going to engage into this.
These stats are ridiculous. He had the most deaths before minute 5,
And now
he
the
has the
second most
second
kills.
most kills before minute 10.
This is a topsy-turvy game for the young
That's
NEL
unreal.
player.
Well, the bottom lane's going to get pushed by EG now. The only defensive hero for Vici Gaming currently is Fenrir, standing there with the mech. This is a big pickup for Shadow Fiend that could give them some sort of play potential. FY porting in, gotta get the Hex, Shackle, and the wards off. There's
And
a
they
Malekith,
finally
though.
kill Sumail, though he's able to zip out. Ice hooking in. Sumail now out of mana. They'll push back. AUI 2000 with the cogs, getting the kill. But that looks like that's where it will end. In the meantime, Fear is going to take this opportunity to push that top lane. A lot of rotations just to kill an Enigma. And not, let's see, do they get an objective? I feel like they need to take this tier 1 as well on the back of that.
Well, Universe is in a pretty good position to defend this. He already pulled the wave as Black will pop
And they already used the
Metamorphosis.
wards, so they
Glyph is
don't
up.
have them for the push. They will get the
Glyph up
tower,
for
it looks
sure.
like. But Fear gonna trade, so it's only a 1-for-1 tower. Do they go for 2 is the real question. They get the Hex off on Universe. Sumail zipping into the cogs, but they have no lockdown. That Zeus ulti coming out. Massive damage. Now the Omni Slash. Black gonna get blown up. It's 3 dead for Vici. They're in danger here. Super needs to turn it. He tries to go into Universe. Blade Fury working him into Black Hole. It's gonna be 5. EG again. Outmaneuvering Vici Gaming in the clutch. A triple for Sumail. He's almost caught up to the enemy Shadow Fiend Send. What a remarkable comeback this has been.
Man, that dive... Okay, we talked about Vici Gaming's super good early aggression. Now they're just... That is just way too deep to go on that play. They dive in behind the tier 1.
They had no wards.
They had no vision. They go on a Zeus blindly behind the enemy's tier 1. Easy Omni Slash for Fear, and they... I think the mech might have not come out early enough to save a couple of targets, and Black never got his ultimate off. And as a result, they...
It's been
This
about a
is
5,000
insane.
gold swing. They get off to a 2,000 gold lead at like the 5-minute mark. And now it's EG at 12.5 minutes, leading by about 6,000 experience. And well, looking to see what Sumail will build. As the game settles down potentially a little bit, what does he go for? It looks like he's actually rushing a Bloodstone. He's having such a good start. He feels confident in his ability to snowball, and truth be told, they do not have anything on a Storm later on. They have the Shaman Hex, but at some point it gets to the stage where it's always the Storm initiating, and he'll probably even have a BKB or Linken's, at which point whoever he jumps on is just going to die.
Everything they invested into in the early game has basically not paid off. It's hard to imagine Sumail would have done even better than this, but maybe he would, without all the ganks. And now,
or it could have been different, because I guess if VG Gaming don't get all those kills, they may not have played so confident and even over-aggressive
that's true.
after the laning stage, so... Well, it's hard to say. That
Zeus
Zeus
ultimate?
used a scout. And they are beginning the siege with these wards. End of the day, Vici Gaming do have a fairly strong 5-man push, with the mech especially. But do they want to risk it? I'm also curious if PPD... No, he's not that close to the blink yet. Just the Tranquil Soul range, I imagine. But they're going for the siege now. In the meantime, Zeus just chilling, split pushing bottom lane. Storm, split pushing mid. The dual electricity gods avoiding this 5-man clash as Sumail will lay into the tower. In the mid lane, hookshot is going to connect, but only pushing him back, not enough to get the kill. He's got a bit too much mana. Tower into nigh range, I believe now, and the dire jungle. That's where the clash may take place. Fear coming in with an Omni Slash. It's level 2. There's creeps here though, and he's going to have to back out. In fact, do they try to run him down? A bit risky. They will back off. Both teams fencing around, and it's official. Your Storm Spirit now the most farmed here in the game after 4 deaths in the laning stage. He's got a 14-minute Bloodstone with Treads, Bottle, and Magic Wand. One of the fastest Bloodstones you'll ever see. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the FY has to play to the best of his ability now in this game. They need the hexes on the Storm Spirit every fight. If they engage a fight and use hex on someone else, he's going to have a free fight. Ice looks like he's working on a Blade Mail. That's also not going to counter the Storm at all. He can just ignore him and go on someone else. Someone is going to have to pick up a Hex or an Orchid, I think. The Shadow Shaman is not going to cut it.
And at the rate he's going, it'll be... I mean, he may have a blink fairly soon. Not 1,000 gold, still a ways to go for FY. And again, as mentioned, Shaman only going to be able to quote-unquote counter the Storm if he jumps him, which is not easy. Sumail with the fast Bloodstone. He'll be looking to pick up some charges here as they make their way into this Vici Gaming jungle. EG on the cusp of a potential 3-0 sweep, and in fact, they get up the high ground just as the Vici Gaming smoke comes out. Both teams might run into each other. PPD in front. He'll get hexed off the bat. Sumail trying to turn this fight, zipping here and there. Going on to FY, gets no kills. He's out of mana. He just has enough with that extra magic stick to zip on out of there. They lose their Earthshaker off the bat, but it does cost them the Shaman wards. End of the day, they're not taking an objective. It's only a support Earthshaker, the 5-position support, and well, Fear's just going to split push top. It works out pretty well for EG in the end.
Yeah, they win that exchange for sure, unless if they lose Roche now. Vici Gaming are going to try to make this play.
They have to.
They have to do this. But it's so extremely risky. Maybe EG don't expect it. I think they might have had vision to see this movement.
They had that one ward, and they didn't see exactly where they went, but I believe they saw them moving down towards the rune, so... For EG, no Zeus ulti right now. Storm had to walk back to well. I guess just didn't have the tools they need to contest, but then the question comes in, how scary is an Aegis for Vici Gaming? Is this something EG even have to fight into? Because I kind of feel like they can just ignore the Aegis and just keep on finding pickoffs on the other heroes.
Yeah, just keep the snowball going for Sumail. He's working on an Orchid already. When he gets that, he can start solo killing the Shadow Shaman as well. Just play around the Storm Spirit as much as possible. Now that he's got so much momentum, Shadowblade's also going to come out for the Juggernaut when he wants to send that out. I think. Wait, no? He's buying a Battle Fury. As a matter of fact. With the Claymore.
Yeah, Perseverance now picked up. AUI 2000 going for a 4-staff. Very nice versus the Clockwork, of course. And it will help his Earthshaker as well if PPD does get caught. The rest of EG going for utility, and as this game moves along, they'll just be looking to buy time for Sumail to continue farming and building towards a fearsome late game. For Vici, what do you think is the next steps in? They have this Aegis, they had a great start, now they find themselves down 6k gold, up against the Snowballing Storm. What are the key steps for them to try and turn this around, would you say?
They need to try to find pickoffs where they set the tone of the fight by immediately finding a key kill that's not the Storm, because I think that's unlikely. But if they find the Storm, great. If they can't, start a fight and get the cogs placed very well, so jumping in for Sumail is difficult and he needs to use a lot of mana. And then the mech needs to be clutch every time. It needs to heal as much as possible, and
like, just healing one hero is not good enough.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He needs to counter heal the Zeus ult. Right after the Zeus ult comes out, you pop the mech, and then you try to play around that. Maybe if you can get away with a smoke gank and get into the enemy jungle, perhaps you can get a collateral tier 2 tower top with your Metamorphosis. The problem is that we've talked so much about Sumail in the mid lane, but Black is actually really not that farmed on the Terrorblade. With the dives they made bottom, with how much they committed and lost, he's not looking good. They're going to get PPD mid. This is a freebie.
Your Shaker will end up going down.
Is maybe going to be successful here.
But immediately
to get them
EG
a
with the
tower.
response to push bottom. They know they're a bit weak in the 5-man fights, unless they get a big black hole, and it's tough up against the Aegis. So they just split push. I feel like EG just making all the right reactions. Like, sure, these moves from Vici Gaming are netting them kills, but EG are always finding a good trade. Tier 2 now going to go down bottom lane as an exchange, and well, the question is, do Vici push for high ground? They're holding the wards. Ice going to get caught out here in the jungle, though. They really would like to have the Clockwork for the high ground breach, but he is wasting 2 arrows. Time he's he catches 2! Universe and AUI might both go down. They barely survive here, but they're so low. Meanwhile, the Requiem unwound. They have 2 heroes out of this fight. Omni Slash, not good enough. The mech is making the difference. Then the Sunder. Ward still surviving on the high ground. They go in with the Hex now. They could lose Sumail as well. He's got the Bloodstone deny, and he will pop it as soon as that Shackles ends. But they found the opening, sent straight onto high ground, looking for a quick lane of Rax. This is a lot to get out of the Aegis. Buyback for the Zeus, though. It worked once. Can it work a second time? Super just barely caught by the black hole. They're looking to wipe them all. The Witch Doctor going to get run down by your Storm, and they've still got a pull left for Super. He walks in. He wants to at least get Rax out of this. He'll get nothing. Pulled back. Wiped at the base. A triple for Sumail. Those Zeus buybacks twice now have just saved EG. Did he buy back?
It was only the Storm, right?
It was only the Storm. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I thought he bought back.
Oh, maybe he did. No, he didn't, because he never died
Okay,
to Ice
never
Ice.
mind,
Right?
he never
That's
died.
still amazing.
He TP'd home and finally was able to get in the fight.
Ice might have just saved them the game. Catching out those two heroes there, sure, he didn't get the kills. If he gets the kills, it's even better. But just how much he delayed them allowed the team to push down mid, at least get a melee Rex. I don't think it's going to cut it. But still a minute 20 barracks is really early on and puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team to clean up. Barracks generally start getting way less relevant around the 40-minute mark when heroes are so farmed that cleaning out the big creeps is no problem at all. But right now, these melee creeps in mid, they've got 730 health, and your heroes on EG hit for about 100 apart from Fear. So he's probably going to have a lot of cleanup duty in mid for the rest of the game.
I feel like at this point the big thing they need is that PPD Blink Dagger. He's died a couple of times. He's kind of been the sacrificial lamb, but the next time Vici Gaming go for the push, if they have the Zeus ult, the Storm Zip, and then the Echo Slam, that's so many ways to just instantly assassinate Vici Gaming heroes, and especially against a hero like the Terrorblade, that Echo Slam can be particularly devastating. He's almost got it too. Going high ground again against DG is going to get a lot harder with this Blink Dagger being picked up. And at the same time, the Orchid as well.
Boy. And he didn't lose his streak. So a kill on Sumail now is worth a lot of gold. They're 7,500 gold ahead. This is another thing we should remember. Vici Gaming have racks against a leading team. So if they start getting fights going their way too, they not only, I mean, get a good fight in itself, but actually it's worth more than what you would expect out of a team that has racks.
And they're just going to keep on pushing, it looks like. 4 heading top, they're leaving the Terrorblade mid, scouting in their jungle with Illusion, so fine AUI here. But they just want to keep this pressure up.
Yeah, this is... One way of doing it is just trying to brute force when they know Black Hole is on cooldown. And the Zeus ult was used for scouting, so they know they're not fighting into that either. And it could be enough. Ice in a decent position with his clockwork might be able to find the opening they're looking for, but... Now that the Storm has Orchid, I think they don't know that, by the way. So Mail could jump. He even has a double damage.
Oh, man.
To boot. If he finds
this
that
could also, it could be one of those things where you end up getting a little cocky as well, so you have to be careful about how you engage. They smoke with PPD, but Sumail, it didn't clip him. So he's going to walk into the woods by himself. They're going to try to lead with that Earthshaker. Let the Storm come in after they identify where these heroes are. And I do want to point out, FY is just waiting in the trees. He's probably just hoping for that Blink Hex on the Storm, maybe the Enigma.
They've given up already.
But they're already going to back off.
This
He's
is a
still
way
waiting
too risky
top.
play. What they do accomplish, though, is they force the EG rotation. EG are scared of losing that top tier 2 tower.
Maybe they do go on someone here. They're still sticking around.
Yeah, they are going to have to wait longer. This Juggernaut's going to destroy them. Ice just going to rocket and TP out. Wasting a bit of Aui's time. He's going to go scouting here.
What's he? He's just waiting for an opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what
He
he's
has the
waiting
TP.
for, really.
It's a little odd. I mean, at this point, what are you actually gonna? Maybe once this, I don't know. It's not like he can snipe the courier very easily, huh? Well, either way, Vici Gaming going to back out.
We have some important items coming up now. Black almost has BKB on the Terrorblade. He went Yasha BKB. I think this is the best choice in this game. He needed the Yasha for the farming speed, but if he goes for any regular Terrorblade build, he's going to get blown up in all the fights. Now he's going to be very strong against Sumail, very strong against Universe. The only real threat is either getting caught by a Black Hole and Omnislashed or just Omnislashed alone, but most of the time with Terrorblade, if he plays this right, he will actually be able to sunder one of his illusions or be able to sunder... I mean, he can even sunder the Witch Doctor and sacrifice him. Sometimes that can win you a fight. I'm sure their communication is great for stuff like that.
Oh, here we go. They're smoking. They have a ward in the dire jungle. They're about to get eyeballs on someone as they move along. The Zeus now spotted out along with that Storm Spirit. He'll drop a Remnant. There's also a dire ward here. Depending on when the smoke breaks, they might end up getting vision. And they start to close the gap. They're trying to show the Shadow Feed. With Zeus ulti now pop, they're going to know something's up. Just in time.
Yeah,
Just in time.
Scouting Zeus ults are so good.
Even though the offlane Zeus is third from bottom in net worth, he has been massive for EG this game.
Yeah.
The buyback ulti mid earlier, then just the getting back to Fountain and popping the ult right as Sumail respawned after the Bloodstone suicide, that leads to these 2 team wipes. Or I think it was 4 kills the first fight, but yeah, regardless. Amazing
the tower.
performance for an offlane Zeus. Now FY,
And
gonna
Vici
take the
Gaming are
tower.
not even ahead on towers, actually. The towers are even. Both teams have lost 5. Arguably, Vici is slightly ahead. I want to say the remaining tower for them is a little bit more important, but it's not really by much.
I just feel like all of EG's movements have just been really polished this game. When heroes do get picked off, they don't hesitate, they don't think about running back to defend, they immediately just go for the split push. And it also goes into the itemization. We haven't really talked much about the Jug Battle Fury, but this helps you split push a lot. This also is good at stalling the game and take it late, and if it goes late, it means they've got two very fearsome cores.
Vici just bought the best item of the game right now. This can make the big difference. Fenrir, Gem of True Sight. A big part of EG's success in the game has been exceptional warding coming out from PPD, but now with this gem, if Vici Gaming can get their jungle back, I'm a little bit surprised they don't give the gem to Black and just have him spawn a couple of illusions and go check. But this illusion right here would actually have found a ward and destroyed it.
Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job of scouting with them, I have to say, in general, for Black. Somewhat like the Lycan Wolves, though not quite as pesky, as you at least know that those illusions are around. And we're gonna see Fear pick up a Blink Dagger now on his Juggernaut. This lineup is really gearing up just to be able to instantly assassinate heroes. Black, maybe the target bottom, though they're the Shadow... Oh, the Zeus ult coming out now. Black's behind him, he's going past him, he's looking for FY! Can he get the kill? BKB was used immediately by Black. Sumail in danger here. Will he end up going down, trying to retreat out? He has the Bloodstone deny if needed. He'll be mech'd up. Ice, having already used the hookshot, has little left, and in the end, although they don't get the kill, they force out a BKB. They immediately Black, and oh, they do get the Shadow Shopping kill, not the Terrorblade kill, I mean, but
yeah, that was still. Oh man, that hookshot from Ice was really close. Sumail, perfect jump. He jumps across the Terrorblade, making Black think he's the one getting initiated on. He pops the BKB in panic. Then he finds FY behind, who was trying to run in to help Black. He thought he was the one getting initiated on, and
it shows you how weak they are against the Storm jumps. Like, yes, you have Hex, but first of all, Shaman's the one you want to be jumping every fight, and secondly, you can just jump from much farther away, and you can silence him as you're coming in. So in theory, he might never get the Hex off. It's very tough. It's where like smoke ganks and just getting that vision advantage that you mentioned is so crucial.
EG, they're working on Roche. Black and Ice both will scout it out. We'll be able to destroy the healing ward here, maybe, with the illusion. We'll get it.
They're going to clear out the illusion.
This is a big moment. Black does not have BKB for this fight, and also no mana. He's going to get a little bit from the arcane boots.
There is a black hole. Omni Slash online. Very dangerous to walk into this pit, but they've got to do it. Enigma has a force stab, and here comes Sumail straight onto FY as usual. No Hex for you is the goal. Then the Echo. Gigantic from PPD. Black hole quickly canceled, though. They may be able to turn this one. Omni Slash coming through. Brings down 4. Make it 5. The old man wipes them out. VG get run over. The only casualty is that Storm.
I think they had seen the blink of PPD, and he gets the perfect jump onto 3 with the Echo Slam and melee range on all 3 of them. EG's lineup is extremely good at fighting in this area, and the Clockwork, he had to find that Shaker, but I don't think he knew, first of all, where PPD was, and secondly, that he had the blink. And Fear gets 2 kills and a Roche.
Is this going to be a 3-0? It's not over yet by any means, but it just more and more, the graph's going EG's way. 10k gold lead, 20k experience lead, and I think the biggest thing is just how little they have on a Storm this farm, Sind.
Oh, and here comes a big item. BKB for Aoi. Now only the hookshot will stop him. And, yeah, only the hookshot.
And realistically, you can't just be holding your hookshot for that.
No.
He's their hero that has to go in first. The Shaman can't be doing it. He has to be waiting, unless it's the Storm they're jumping. They need him to try and jump that Storm, but Sumail doesn't even feel like he needs the BKB. He goes straight into Mystic Staff. More offensive potential coming out. And you can just see how aggressive he feels now. With the Aegis in tow, a regen rune in the bottle, he pushes the bottom lane past where the tier 2 once stood for Vici. EG, this game firmly in their grasp now. Did they lose? And I guess they lost the gem there as well, on top of everything else. So, vision control, non-existent against a Storm, and a Juggernaut Mass Commandus Blink. You can get assassinated from anywhere. You honestly can't even really leave the base without seeing EG heroes on the map.
They are so cornered right now. When losing the gem, and 5 heroes is arguably also a big deal, but without the gem, EG have the entire map. There is nowhere to go. Their lineup does not initiate well into the Storm. They now have a Manta on Black. I mean, the damage output is there, but they get shut down every fight by the Black Hole. And now the Echo Slam is going to make it so much harder as well. You saw it in the last fight, how big a difference PPD made. Did Vici not get their BKBs off in time is the question. I think Black and Super survived, right? It was the 3 other heroes that got caught.
Then they just got Omni Slash was the problem.
Oh, look at Sumail!
He's gonna force that one. BKB then just zips away. He still has this regen rune. And they'll force Stefan back a bit farther. He's gonna heal right back up to full HP once he pops, and he pops the regen now. He may even look to go back in relatively soon. Still holding the Aegis. VG looking to split push. They are sending that FY Shadow Shaman top. But he's now gonna be, it looks like maybe even TPing back, just hiding in the trees for the time being. AG, they'll go for another jump, a big leap forward as Sumail looks to set up. I think this may have been spotted as the pings come out. Looks like from Ice potentially. For
Actually,
now, he's just waiting. Was it?
actually
Maybe
don't
it was
think they
Sumail's
saw
ping. Maybe they don't know.
I don't think they saw it.
Uh-oh, this could be
Now
bad.
they do.
BKB's down on black. As he did pop it earlier. Well, Sumail not seeing an easy opening. He doesn't want to go for anything risky. Meanwhile, top lane, Fear just pushing out this lane. He's almost got an Abyssal Blade. I mean, we've hardly talked about the Juggernaut, but he's their most farmed hero.
Yeah, all that space on the map, Fear is making great use of it. With the Battle Fury build-up, he can farm so incredibly incredibly fast on the Juggernaut. 250 CS minute 31 is some of the highest you'll see for Jug, who isn't a hero that generally gets those extreme 10 CS per minute, just because he doesn't have that very effective farming tool as illusion-based
And
carries
normally
do.
you don't go this way. Oh, super bottom
boy,
lane. You can't
super
leave
dead.
the base anymore. Certainly not pushing that far. I see what you did there. Nicely done. Well, it gets harder and harder to see how Vici Gaming turned this game around. They can't leave the base. They don't seem to have the late game. Sure, you have Terrorblade, Shadow Fiend, 2 very hard right clickers, and a lot of physical DPS, but Storm can trump almost anything late with the necessary farm, and he's got it. AG feeling confident now as they push forward. They eradicate this last tier 2 mid. There is a buyback on your Shadow Fiend for Vici, but buying back now just puts him even more in the hole. The Sumail will kill off an illusion here, continuing to siege. This time, looking for tier 3s. Aegis still at the ready. He has the Bloodstone deny if he ever gets really into danger. Shiva's complete. Full offense from him, and a great item against all this physical damage. FY is trying to rat, but I don't think the wards will be enough. The buyback on the Shadow Fiend, and EG don't really care. They keep on pushing. Confident in their ability to take this Rax. They leave Sumail up front, he'll lay into the buildings, and nobody jumping him. Unless they go soon, he's going to be the one who initiates. He jumps in right onto Fenrir, blowing him up with Fear at his side. The Omni Slash gets it done. Now, Sumail focusing back on buildings. Black will try to lay into Fear, but he just doesn't have the firepower to bring him down quickly enough. And now the Black Hole. Where's that hook shot? It's not coming from Ice. There's no way to stop this. They lose now the Terrorblade hook shot, only popping the Aegis. AUI having already Black Hole. What does it really matter if you kill him off? And now the Storm cleanup might begin. FY next on the list. It's 3 dead. It might be 4. Buyback coming out from the FY Shaman, but he's got no wards. Oh, is it even worth it? Super's bought back, FY's bought back, and still they keep on racing until they get the bash on Super. Yes, they do. It's a dieback on the Shadow Fiend. He'll pop as well. Ice may be next. Sumail, no mercy now. On to FY. No, we'll pass by him for Ice, and he'll back off for the Shaman. Dieback after dieback. Vici Gaming in shambles. It's a 3-0. EG just won over $1.3 million. They are your Dota 2 Asia Championship champions. What a performance.
So good drafting in all 3 games, and the play to go with it. The way they played today, fully deserved. There was all the 3 games were so solid. It was Vici Gaming making most mistakes. It was Vici Gaming with the weaker draft, and going into the series, most of us thought Vici Gaming were definitely the favorites based on previous days, but EG, they showed up today. They had all the strategies planned.